Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about our new build problems that we're currently experiencing.
It's good to give a live example of what's happening to us as we're going along, because it might be useful for people to know exactly what's happening.
So if you've watched some of our previous videos or vlogs, I think we've actually featured some footage in the vlogs that our patio doors, I think actually like within the first couple of months of us being in there, leaked. We've been in this house coming up to 4 years in September, and the first winter that we had, our doors were leaking through the bottom. So we obviously contacted the company. Talent Homes is the developer that we are with, and they sent out the people that fitted the doors to come and replace them. So that happened. Then next winter comes along and those same doors, the brand new doors are then leaking again. But then something else is replaced, and it's been an ongoing battle for so long, and it's been hard work because we've had puddles in the living room.
It's just the water comes right away through.
Yeah, and we get battered because we're near the water. We're on the south coast of the UK. We're in a south facing garden, and like I said, we're quite near to the sea, so when it is windy, our back garden gets absolutely battered.
The people who did the doors originally were based in the North Midlands.
Yeah, Birmingham, wasn't it?
Well, it was like even further, wasn't it? Like Wolverhampton or something. Like 4.5 hours just to come out, and the guy comes out, checks it, and in his defence, he's like, I don't see what the problem is. So we're squirting it with a hose, and no water's coming through. So he just said, look, he found a few holes at the bottom. He said they didn't fill these holes properly. So okay, so we fill the holes. It happens again, he comes out. So again, we're hammering it with the hose. It doesn't come through, but he says, okay, I think it's probably this. So they changed like
the sealant and little things
like
around.
the bits at the bottom. Fast forward a year and it happens again. And bear in mind, each time this happened, the living room doesn't flood, but we have to put towel after towel. So we're basically on a constant process of putting the towel in the dryer, swapping it, and then waiting until it gets so saturated again, back and forth.
Yeah, we don't have like 100 towels spare, and we're replacing them every few minutes. And I think at one point we actually put you a bit like on is it Game of Thrones? We put you on night watch, didn't we? We put you on the white wall. It was like the patio door wall watch. And Sean slept downstairs.
Because it was coming through so much.
The companies are obviously trying to palm the blame, aren't they? They don't want to take responsibility for it because obviously it's their then expense to sort. And actually, it was always going to be a problem with Pallant, because luckily for us, we reported it within the defect period, which is 2 years normally when you buy a new build. So luckily we had that covered within an email. Yeah, I think the first time we had somebody around, we had the 2 doors, and then the second time it was done, we had the whole thing replaced, like Sean said. So that's twice now. Then the third time it's leaked, we've basically said we don't want that company coming out again. They've literally confirmed to us that the doors weren't even waterproof, I think is what he accidentally said.
He said they're not totally waterproof, these doors, which is the world's most ridiculous thing.
And a ridiculous thing to tell us.
What a stupid thing to say.
Then we get to this winter.
So this is a new company, new doors.
New company, third pair of doors or fourth pair of doors, lost track at this point.
Elise shouts me upstairs, just not even sad or angry, just had enough, completely despondent. So
I think I nearly cried.
Sure, the doors are leaking again. So we come downstairs, these effing things are leaking, so obviously we've lost the will to live. And
this time they're coming through the bottom, and they're also coming through the top of the door. So at this point I've said, like, we need a building survey around. We don't want the door people coming out again, because quite clearly they're just replacing the doors. They're not actual building inspectors who can do a proper survey on the house. So finally Pallant, our developer, have agreed to that. They've sent out a building surveyor, who was a really lovely guy, wasn't he? And he basically within seconds was able to tell us that it's probably not the door's fault, although the door shouldn't be letting water seep through. There must be a substantial amount of water sitting above the doors.
The guy basically pulled us out, and he'd been here at 5 minutes at this point. What do you think about this weep hole? Look, tell me what do you think about the weep hole? Obviously I don't know anything about buildings. I'm saying, okay, what's a weep hole? And he explains it's a hole that goes in, the water filters out, so it basically comes outside. And he says, what do you think of it? And I said, well, tell me where it is, I can't even see it. And he's like, yeah, that's my point. They haven't put weep holes in.
Someone from the council external has to then come around and sign off Pallant's work, basically giving it the okay that it's safe, and there's not going to be flooding into the house, which is obviously a given. And weep holes obviously allow water to go in, and then there should be a tray that sits above the doors that then it will kind of go through the weep hole, it will land on the tray that then comes back on itself and then leaks away from the doors. However, there was no weep holes there, so water was just being saturated in and soaking through. It was almost like we would only really get water through if the wind was battering the doors. It wouldn't just come through if it was raining. So we were worried that the tray had been, the cavity tray had been put the wrong way round, but he didn't think it was, but it was kind of like a process of elimination. He wanted to put weep holes in first, which so far has worked, although saying that, we've not been battered by wind and rain at the moment, so I don't really know. But yeah, the weep holes seem to have sorted out the problem. We've had no water coming through since, but obviously now, and I think I've got a clip actually of me recording the water coming through, so I will put that on here. But the water came through the roof, and obviously all the paintwork has now fallen from that. The sealant around the doors look awful, so we've actually got somebody coming round the week after next to, again, the door people external, to come and double check everything is put in the right way, to check that the weep holes and the cavity tray is all correct, and then they're going to go from there and then do the sealant and then repaint to make it look aesthetically pleasing from the inside, because at the moment it looks like, you know when you peel when you're sunburnt, it looks like someone's skin is hanging off from the roof. Like
it needs to get done. Yeah.
The service we've received from Pallant, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't go with them again, to be honest. That's just my personal view. We always have people ask us on our videos what developer we go with, and I don't often like to say, to be honest, but this has been a bane in our arse, and it's been irritating as hell, and it's been really inconvenient because obviously we've had water damage that I'm pretty sure the flooring has been slightly damaged as well, which obviously we can claim and we can sort, but it's not ideal moving into your first home, and it's a new build. It's meant to all be new and lovely and perfect for you to get in there, and we've just had non-stop problems. And another recent thing, again, we can't really talk too much about, but we can mention because we're kind of in the process of, again, eliminating that. In the bedroom that we're in now, we've got an ensuite, and in there, again, me and Sean have like been blaming one another. We're like, what the hell is that smell?
I've said with her last year, she comes out, she's like, oh, what's that smell? What's that
he
smell?
always blames me, and I'm like, I swear down,
it's
not even me. Anyway, it turns out that I think there's been some blockage within the sewage. So we've been buying, what are those bottles called that we normally buy, that we
just
put
the
down?
things that you put down there, and it like,
like drain blocker, yeah, like a deblocker. We've bought loads of them, boiling water down. Well, it smells nice for like half an hour, and then it smells like rotten egg in there again.
Papering over the crack, isn't it? It smells nice. Yeah. The thing smells nice and it clears it a little bit, but it doesn't sort the problem.
Basically, we spoke to some neighbours, and they're having the same problems in their ensuite with the smell as well. So I think that's something to do with our sewerage. And again, we can contact Southern Water, and I think they've already come out before, which is who we're with, but they've said it's a development concern. We're hearing a lot about this around our local area, that they're just putting up so many new builds that the sewage lines almost can't cope with the amount of people that are necessarily in the area. And it's not like a city, so I don't know why it can't cope, because they've obviously got ways of making it cope in other areas. But
if we're all having the same
quite
problem,
a villagey area, but yeah,
obviously something going on.
Yeah, there's a blockage, and it stinks, and it's horrible, and I have to shut that door at night. It's
the worst bathroom for it to happen, isn't it? Because it's like,
yeah, in the bedroom.
Like the doors are there, and I sleep there, so it's
horrible.
And unfortunately our dog's not the brightest, so that's where her drink she drinks from there.
She is the
so her little bowl, if you put the bowl in the other toilet, which is the same distance away from her bed, she just can't.
You have to like lead her to it. You have to put it in the other bathroom now, which is only like a metre that way, so it's not like she has to.
But she just can't
she has to go to the trenches to find some fresh water. But yeah. So yeah, we will update you guys in another video, maybe what's going on with the sewage. But our advice, I think, would be, if you're in a new build, obviously just make sure you're recording anything minuscule. If you're in that first 2 year, I think every house is a 2 year defect period, but maybe that varies company to company, so don't hold me to that. But our advice would be, write down anything minuscule that you can see, whether that be black marks on the ceiling, windows getting like cracks in or not closing properly. We've had a few problems with the handles on the windows and the front door as well. They're quite stiff sometimes. Obviously the sewage, any smells, raise it, and just make sure you've all got email records of this.
Put it into physical writing, so email them, so and keep a record of the emails. Just keep a spreadsheet. Yeah, for sure. This is what your issue is. This is the time where you raise it with them. So yeah, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's again quite a random one, but they're just current things that we're experiencing problems with our new build, and they're bloody annoying. So I hope you guys aren't having the same problems. But thank you for watching, guys. I hope it's been helpful, and we'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye.